Some say that travel can produce a profound effect on one's well-being. And I think that's true, but I also believe that you can make great friendships and meet new people that are so interesting. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests, I recently traveled to Santa Fe, as many of you may know, and we decided to go to the travel center. And in the travel center was Edith. Edith was an interesting lady. She wore a skull cap, and around the skull cap was wisps of brown hair. And her face was more aged than most. But she had a twinkle in her eye that was just delicious. And she said to us, "I will show you my favorite map." So she did. She laid out the map, and here is where you want to go so that you can see the museum across the street. $6 million worth of art. Wow. I said, "Is there a haunted house here somewhere? I thought I read that it existed here in Santa Fe." And she grabbed the brochure and she says, "Well, I don't know about any haunted house, but I do know that my apartment was built on a shepherd's graveyard." "What?" I said. And she said, "Yes, and for 6 months after I was in there, those shepherds would come up and they would gather around my bed. And they'd just sit there or stand there and look down at me. It was pretty unnerving." I said, "Really?" She said, "Yes, and I finally had to call a shaman to come in and get rid of them. That was terrible." I thought that she had more stories that she wanted to tell, but then there was another visitor that came and she wanted to lay out her favorite map again. She was really a delightful. I would have loved to have stayed there longer. The other person that I met in my travels was Michel. And Michel was a French waiter in a little restaurant, and he invited us in. "Oh, come in, mademoiselle, have a seat." And so we did, and he says, "What can I do for you?" "Well, I would like to have the favorite meal of a Parisian." And so he says, "Oh, that's mashed potatoes and sausage." "Really?" I said, "Yes, it's my favorite. You'll love it." My friend, my companion, decided just to order a ham and cheese. And I thought, well, I'm going to be daring, and I ordered mashed potatoes and sausage. Well, when it came, it looked slightly inedible, and when I tried it, it was inedible. It was lumpy and grizzly and really didn't look very appetizing. And I said to Michel, "Michel, I can't eat this." "What you say? You cannot eat it? Oh, it is so beautiful. Oh, she can't. She doesn't like it. Well, I'll get you something else." I said, no, that's okay. I'll just stick with her ham and cheese." And he says, "Let me get you a dessert." "Okay, I'll have a dessert. 2 forks, please." So we sat and ate our dessert, and Michel was a memorable character who told us all sorts of things about himself. He says, "I got the badge for smoking." Oh, no, I didn't know that. I take off from April to October. I go on vacation. Michel was an interesting guy. We also had the privilege of traveling to Prague. And Prague, too, was an interesting city. And we stayed at the International Hotel there. And every day we were there about 3 days. Every day I wanted to walk to the city center, so that's what I did. I walked to the city center, and by I passed stores that were very exclusive. Jewelry, fashion, shoes, menswear, everything. They were pretty remarkable. And I'm standing in front of the Gucci window looking at these models, and a woman came up to me and she says, "Oh, this is ridiculous. Plaids, stripes. Who ever heard of this? It looks Gucci smoochy. I don't even like it. I wear my mink coat. It's good everywhere I go." Well, I had to agree with her there. And then she took off. But her point was well made. You cannot believe these fashions in these windows. Now, I had another experience that was probably more close to home, and I was on a road trip with my stepson and my husband. When we pulled into a gas station and the fellas got out and went to the restroom, and I stayed in the back seat, and then I thought, well, I better go. So I got up and went to the restroom. And as I was coming out of the gas station, the car was pulling away. My ride was pulling away. And I thought, the fellow who was standing next to me said, "Is that your ride?" And I said, "Yep, of course." So, needless to say, I was there without a cell phone. We had no cell phones then. And all I could do was wait. All I could do was wait. So 50 miles later, I learned that they're back to collect me. And my husband was upset because he thought I was perusing the inside of the store and buying all sorts of stuff. I said, "No, I went to the bathroom, came out, and you were gone." So that was a whole nother kind of experience. So anytime we stopped again, I had a note written out and taped it to the dashboard saying, "I'm in the bathroom, don't leave without me." I'll be right back. So that's what happened, and it's been an interesting journey, but I'm glad I've taken more of these, and thanks for traveling with me.